Hello, welcome to All About Energy Life. And guess who's on today? Dr. Kamal. Welcome.
Well, thank you for having me again.
Yes, I'm so excited to cover the body type system. We've briefly touched on it on other interviews, Dr. Kamal,
Yeah.
and I've had some questions from viewers and friends and family to try to understand really the body type system. And I thought it would be interesting to really talk about some interesting discoveries that I have come across along my journey with understanding my body type. So that is really what we're going to be covering today, guys.
Okay. That's a good topic.
Well, what I wanted to share with the viewers is, and if you've watched some other interviews, you will know that how I came to know you, Dr. Kamal, was I had vertigo that I was dealing with for about 12 months. I do not wish it on anybody. It was like the worst experience. I went to ENTs, orthos, primaries, unlimited antibiotics because I do a lot of free diving and snorkeling, so they thought it was something to do with the salt water getting my ears. And we really couldn't get to the bottom of it. It was starting to affect my daily life with driving, and I just wasn't balanced. And then someone, a really good friend, recommended you and said, well, just give them a try. And I thought, well, Zoom? Like, what do you mean? And they were like, yeah, just give it a try. And I got on that Zoom call with you, and you basically said, oh, yeah, you'll be fine in just a couple of months. And I thought, what? What do you mean? What do I need to do? Sign me up right now. And you had this unbelievable confidence, and you explained the human body and pressure. I mean, if you want to take over from there, how you
Sure.
explained that, because you did such a wonderful analogy about the human body and its pressure.
Yeah. So in ancient China, okay, just understand that everything had an analogy for everything. So they begin to link natural phenomenon to human body as well as other areas, whether it be geographically, whether it be the heartbeat, the lung respiration. They literally categorized everything. And they wanted to make associations with the way nature operated externally and the way that the body operated internally.
Hmm.
So what happened there is that they began to catalog, and then in the way that they began to teach is in a form of a conversation. So one of the books they have is called the Huangdi Neijing Suwan. So the Huangdi is the emperor, the yellow emperor. Okay. Neijing means the internal, ne internal, then classic. Suwan means the simple questions. So throughout this book, the yellow emperor is learning medicine.
Okay.
So then now, because the emperor was responsible for learning everything, so the emperor had to learn about astronomy, medicine, botany. He was the emperor, so he was responsible for all of those different departments. So his job was to learn all of it. So in this particular dialogue, he and the chief physician, what we would call the Surgeon General today, was named Chibo. And they would have a dialogue about different aspects of natural phenomenon as it relates to the human body. So then now, when we're classifying the human body, they had a periodic table of 5 elements. So when they looked at the human body, they looked at 5 main constitutions and how those interrelated and interplayed with different aspects of internal medicine phenomena. So
So when
you'll see
you,
the dialogue going back and forth. That's
okay.
what you'll basically understand, that this is the way, this is the psyche of the medical practitioner of 3rd century BC.
Wow.
Okay.
So you said five main constitutions.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
So in that period, they have it called a wuxing. Wuxing means the 5 phases.
Mm-hmm.
So from there, they had earth, metal,
Okay.
water, wood,
Okay.
and fire.
Mm-hmm.
So from there, they would see that earth does a particular thing, then we extract metals out of the earth. Then the metal has condensation, and then that produces water. The water nurtures the wood, and the rains come down out of the sky, and the wood grows. The wood gets dry and brittle, and then it begins to produce fire. Fire now, as it burns up the wood, it produces what? Ash. And now it goes and completes the cycle, and you have earth again. So they looked at these 5 phases
Right.
and looked at how that relates to the human body. And so, 5 main constitutions, you can look and see there's an earth type, a metal type, a water type, a wood type, a fire type, and
Mm-hmm.
then the expressions therein, what they do, how they manifest, all these kind of things. And then you can look at the manifestation of imbalance and then what therapeutic principles you can use as therapeutic interventions that can bring back restoration. So they talked about acupuncture and acupressure and different things. In those days, they had 9 needles.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we just use one needle. We use a filiform needle. There's 8 other types of needles. There we have a long needle, short needle. We have blunt needle. We have a lot of different needles. A 3-edge needle. There's different needles that we typically don't use today. We use a filiform needle. We keep it simple.
I'm glad. I'm glad after experiencing the simple one
Yeah, yeah,
and session, I don't want to know about the other ones.
yeah. So the thing is that, and the techniques that go to each one
Mhm.
in those particular cases.
Right.
Okay, so many times in the States in the West, people will get the filiform needle. They will look at it as more of a resting and relaxing, more like a spa experience. Ancient times, it wasn't like that at all. So if somebody was getting a particular, let's say, febrile disease, and you have a child that's in convulsions, they'd use a 3-edge needle on a particular acupoint near the thumb
Okay.
and prick it so that it would release a few drops of blood, and then that would depressurize the child, and then the fever would go down. Today, we don't need to do that. We use Tylenol or herbs or whatever, and then we
Right.
get the fever down by promoting sweating. So these different interventions worked according to these principles that they were using at the time.
Now
So
my
then
question,
going back to the body types, then
mhm,
depending upon the body types, you would now act accordingly and appropriately according to each of those types. If it's an earth type, what you do, metal type, water type, what have you. When I began to develop the body type system, I took the ancient Chinese medicine concepts and then we needed to still modernize them for today's lifestyle. So I have 12 body types that I use that are more specific to the Western lifestyle. So each physician at their time developed a different type of school of thought. So then you had what was called the Earth School, or the Sky School, or the Blood School, or the Hot School, or the Cold School. I'm the Body Type School.
okay.
Okay. So it's just developing the series of information
Mhm.
that we have from antiquity to now and applying it to today's generation that they can utilize the information at an instant and the doctor doesn't have to do too much explanation. So, from my point of view, I wanted to make sure that the Westerner, the people here in the United States, in the UK, Italy, wherever, they would be able to understand it in their terms without having to go through and sift through 10,000 volumes of ancient Chinese to present to try to extract, well, what's good for me.
What do you mean 10,000 volumes?
So from the last 6,000 years or so to present,
Mhm.
There have been manuals that have been written in medicine, and currently there are about 10,000 volumes of medicine that are in Chinese. Maybe 30 of them have been translated into English.
30.
One
And
of
this
them.
is what we have now with Chinese
That
medicine. This is the result of 30.
this is the result of 30 in English. Remember, the Chinese have all 10,000. They
Right.
still can read and write
Right.
and understand. They just understand that the characters went through different transformations from antiquity till now. Like my teacher, his particular speciality was in ancient Chinese, and then his subspecialty was ancient medical Chinese.
Hmm.
So that the ancient medical Chinese is very different in understanding than you would say Chinese. Like many of the modern Chinese don't even understand the traditional characters because they use simplified characters now.
Okay. So now my question is that how does someone know, I mean, not someone, but how, okay, let's go backtrack just a little bit. How does someone become born into a particular body type like water yin or fire or what have you? How does that happen?
Okay, so first of all, those are classifications to simplify the expression.
Right.
So many times I'll make it even simpler. I say, Dad provides the initial deposit
Okay.
and mom provides the interest.
Okay.
So that now the initial deposit now, once mom has that in her bank, whatever experiences that she's experiencing, does she grow up near water while she's gestating? Is she near mountains? Is she craving different types of fruits or vegetables? Or is she having certain types of emotional experiences? All of those are frequencies that now help or harm gestation, and they create shape. So the analogy I like to use is that a water droplet is a hexagonal type of molecule, has
Mhm.
6 sides.
Mhm.
Now, as that water molecule begins to form and it begins to now come out of the clouds, and then with temperature, pressure, and drift, it crystallizes into a unique thing that we call a snowflake. Now, how many snowflakes are the same? None.
None.
So now in utero, mom has pressure, volume, temperature that allows her to shape baby into whatever's available inside that environment.
Okay.
And so the energy that's available in that environment, either from the kidneys or from the lungs or from the liver or from the endocrine system, like the pancreas or the spleen, that energy that's available now will allow the baby to now do what? Grow in a particular fashion.
Mhm.
Now, whatever's available, then that's what mom now begins to shape and form. And then that is supported at the moment of gestation to all the way to 280 days, which is about 40 weeks. Okay. So then each stage, they're moving from week to week to week with
Mhm.
availability, which the first 12 weeks, it is the genetic clone of mom. Then after that, the hormones begin to change due to pressure and due to temperature. And then that availability begins to change into male, or baby remains female and starts to adopt their own type of shape. So that's why the body type is formed in utero. And then once the baby is delivered, you see the shape is the shape.
Or I like to say, I chose my incarnation and I chose to incarnate as water yin. How about that?
Right. So, in certain traditions, we say that at the moment of implantation and the zygote,
Hmm.
and in the spirit world, we say, my teacher likes to say, The spirits say, we call dibs. And
Okay.
and you call on which particular uh, path and lifestyle you're choosing to accomplish the task that you're here to accomplish at this time.
And where do we find out what our task is to accomplish at this time?
Well, that's in certain traditions, and one of the traditions that I'm blessed to have is we do a process of called soul retrieval.
Hmm.
And when you do that soul retrieval, then you can go ahead and remember why you're here. You know, usually around from birth to about 5. If you listen to children, actually they tell you.
Wow.
They start playing a certain role, they start doing a certain thing. And then at that time, as they're talking and speaking, and they will tell you all kinds of things depending upon your culture. Like in most Asian cultures, the child will be saying, hey, I need to go to the temple, or I need to do this, I need to do that. In certain Asian cultures, they will recognize that, and the mother or the father will take them to the temple.
Okay.
And then they will go through the process of recognizing who they are. So one of the tests that if you go to the temple, they will bring out items, maybe 4 or 5 items. And they will say to the child, well, why are, the parents, why are you here? Well, this child keeps nagging me. And ever since they were weaned, they said, I need to go here. Fine, they go. Usually the master who passes usually gets an attendant maybe 2 to 3 years before they pass. And that close attendant will know what's the object because the master will say, hey, when I come back, I'm going to ask for this. They will put several objects out, and then they will say, this one is mine, or this one is mine, and this one is mine. And if it's correct, they will say, welcome back. And then they'll say, this is what you left off. And this is the manuscript that you left for yourself.
Wow.
Pick up where you left off. Yeah.
Amazing. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I have so many questions.
So this is specific traditions, whether it be in Tibetan traditions and other types of traditions all over Asia, that you will see in that. Also, in many places in India, if people are interested, they can actually go and check out their palm leaf.
Right. I've
And
heard of
their
that.
palm leaf, yeah, they will ask you what your mother's name is, what your father's name is, and they won't ask any other questions. And then they will pull your leaf, and then they will read what this is the question that you have now. They will tell you, you won't tell them.
I've come across a couple of situations where friends have connected with them or anything as such. And I guess where I'm at right now with it, I think it's beautiful that these services are available or these connections with these wonderful, wise people. But I feel like life is so exciting and such an adventure that I'm just like, I'm just going to take it 1 minute at a time. I'll take it
Yeah,
one
and
day
then
at a
and then
time.
and then actually, honestly, that particular service was only for a group of people that they wrote it for. It's not for everybody on the planet. So many times
Right.
people thought it was for everybody on the planet. No, they only wrote what they saw. So
Okay.
it's not for everyone on the planet. So not everything is for everyone. And that's what I explain to people when we're dealing with Chinese medicine. 5% of Chinese medicine is acupuncture. 5%. So some people may need massage, some people may need cupping, moxibustion, plum blossom needle. Some people may need other types of physiotherapy where you're being taught exercises or you're doing different types of breathing or meditation. All of this is Chinese medicine. Many people in the West know about acupuncture, but many people in the East, when I worked in a hospital, we used more herbal medicine than acupuncture.
Okay.
Okay. So
All
that
right.
people would need to understand that there's a lot more services that they're not tapping into here in the West because they may simply not be aware of it.
Right. And this is why I love with you opening your practice, offering the different services. I want to go back a little bit to the children.
Yeah.
One thing I want to point out on how amazed I am as I'm learning through speaking with you and having appointments. I understand the body type systems more and more just by hearing you explain things. And I start to notice that children will actually gravitate to the right body type system food. And it kind of makes me sad because the West is not very educated on that. And they're like, nope, you have to eat meat, you
Sure.
got to eat rice, or
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
not fruit, is not food. And so I'm actually water yin, and so I'm a
Fruitarian. Yeah. Fruitarian. Yeah.
fruitarian.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And so I will see children that are just like pushing away the meat, pushing away the meat. And I'm like, oh my gosh, could that be a water yin? And I'll,
Yeah, it could
you
be.
know,
It could be, but when we're talking about children, remember, children, I always remind parents, children have one currency. That currency is play.
right.
So we all were children once, and all we wanted to do all day was play. So if anything interrupts your play, you don't like it. So you don't like nap time, you don't like certain foods, you don't like certain anything that interrupts with your play.
Right.
So typically, when you have a child, whether they're water, wood, fire, earth, metal, whatever, what happens is that they start trying different things. Remember, children are also sensory creatures.
Mhm.
So sight, sound, smell, taste, touch. They will put things in their mouth, they will feel things, they will touch things, they will do all kinds of things to now get what is in their environment. So they try sweet potato for the first time. Right? Then they try peas, or they try this, or they try that. And usually, right around 6 months, they start being introduced to their first foods. So then now you look and you see, okay, what is this child doing? And what are they saying to me? Remember, they don't have the articulation yet to say, Mother, Father, I'm a fruitarian. No, I'm a vegetarian. No, I'm a carnivortarian. No, I'm a fluiditarian. No, I'm a grainitarian. No, what they will say is, what they will do is throw it, right? So they're telling you what's happening. Now, as the adult, you say, oh, they're trying to explain to me that no, this doesn't make me feel good. This
Mhm.
doesn't allow me to play. And so once you, okay, this, why doesn't it allow you to play? Then you start to go to an ambassador like me. Oh, this child is a water yin. Okay, here, mom, dad. They don't like grain. They don't like meat. If you do this, you're going to have a friend for life.
Right. I was recently with a friend where she was on, I mean, young and on a lot of meds for digestion. And I said, you might want to look into your body type system because maybe it's apples. I mean, this could be so simple. And
Yeah,
she's like, oh yeah, I need to eat more apples. And I said, no, no, no. It could be caused by eating the wrong fruit. And she was
right.
like, what? What do you mean? And I thought, yeah, wow. And so this was someone in the medicine field. And I
Sure.
thought, yeah, I guess it's hard for people to conceptualize that something as simple as that could affect your gut. Because for me, a big no-no for me are mangoes, apples, anything from the top of the tree.
Sure.
And by the way, don't have any experiences with my stomach hurting anymore like I used to. That was another symptom that I came to you with. So thank you for that also being gone because the doctors were giving me really strong medications for my stomach, my digestion, and I just knew that I wasn't supposed to touch it. And thank God I never did. And then I came to you for something else. That was something we addressed through the water yin
Sure.
discussion. And now, if I touch banana, mangoes, or apples, which are not my body type, for whatever reason, I will start to manifest these symptoms again. And that's the thing that I wish the West would be a little bit more open to know that, hey, we're like all individual beings and we're so unique. And this is why I love the way the Eastern medicine addresses this is that, yeah, we all are unique. Everyone shouldn't be eating the same fruit. Everyone shouldn't be eating the same vegetables or meat, etc., because it's going to affect us in different ways. And
Sure.
it addressed numerous things within me, just by being very mindful on simple things like, yeah, you probably don't want to touch that grain unless you want to put your body into a state where you're going to invite the vertigo again. And so I definitely
Well,
don't want to touch it.
and that's the thing that you want to understand. Okay, so if anything that people should get from this conversation, and let's just draw two concepts. The body is reactive, not proactive. The body is reactive, not proactive. The body is not going to save you from screwing up. It's going to react to the screw up and let you know you screwed up.
Right.
Right? So it's going to go, no, don't do that to me anymore. But it's not going to go, you touched a banana. Oh, don't eat that banana. No, it's going to try to eat it and see what happens. So this is why I say to people all the time, okay, we have every 2 weeks, I talk about the 24 solar cycles. And I have a broadcast that I call Jammin' with Zhao Shi. Zhao Shi in Chinese means teacher. So we talk about the 24 solar cycles and we talk about the different foods according to the solar cycles. Now, when you're looking at the yang types, we talk about treetop fruits. When we talk about yin types, we talk about the low to the ground vine fruits. Now, when we're talking about that, we're saying everybody because everybody can have certain types of fruits, whether you're yang type or yin type. Okay. And when you're looking at types of whether you're a metal, water, wood, fire, earth, you all can have fruits, but you have to know whether you're a yang type or a yin type. So we talk about that on every 2 weeks. The reason why I bring that up is that I always encourage people, hey, we're talking about, let's say, oranges this week, and then we're talking about watermelon. So oranges are treetop and watermelon is low to the ground. So we're talking about those things. Try it for 2 weeks. See how your body reacts to it. And as you're going through the solar cycles and you're seeing how your body reacts, every 2 weeks, after recap at the end of the solar cycle, whether we're in summer or winter or fall or spring, how did your body like those series of fruits that you tried? Then
Mhm.
now you know what your body likes. And then now you incorporate that into your lifestyle.
Right. I remember when I first started the system, I would experiment.
Yeah,
I'm a very I like to go outside the lines kind of person.
right. Sure,
So
sure.
I would say, I just had one shrimp. Okay, why am I having
Okay,
this reaction? And it would
okay.
be like a week later, and you would look at me and go, well, where's the pressure? And I would show you, and you go, you had meat, and I go, how do you know? I had one shrimp, and you're like,
Right.
because it's like a computer system. You're putting in the information, and the body
Yeah,
doesn't care if you ate 20 shrimp or one.
doesn't
And
matter.
right. And so now I'm very careful with what I put in my body because
Sure.
my manifestations were a bit quicker. And I actually was very upset one day when I was speaking to you about it. Like, why does it have to be so tight with me where I do something that's not for my body type and I have these manifestations so quickly? And you said, listen, I have clients that get migraines when they eat the wrong bite of food that's not for their body type. So no, it's
Yeah.
not just you, Saba.
Right.
And I was
So
like,
the thing is
okay.
that, the manifestation will happen in order to help you understand. The body is just communicating with you.
Right.
The body has to come. The body doesn't speak English. The body doesn't speak Arabic. The body doesn't speak Chinese. The body speaks reaction.
Mhm.
So it may have a small reaction. Saba, we need to talk. Then you go, I'm good. It's just one trip. Then it will nudge you in the middle of the night. And you go, hey, I'm not sleeping well. Then you wake up and you can't sleep all night. Saba, we need to talk. We don't like what you're doing to us.
Right.
And you're like, okay, okay, okay. Why am I having this? Why I gotta figure this out? I gotta figure this out. And that's your body getting your attention.
One thing I want to mention is the interesting part about the body type system, and we can wrap it up with this, the
Sure.
body movements,
Yeah.
the specific body movements. So now that I'm actually moving my body again, really understanding because I'm very sensitive to energy. So I can see when my body is optimal. I can really have a measuring stick, but I wasn't when I was really sedentary. Okay. So I
Sure.
wanted to
Sure.
share something with you. So for
Hmm.
my particular body type system, swimming and weightlifting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I actually ended up in a situation where I did like 10,000 steps and I was just go, go, go nonstop. And oh my gosh, what a drop, just like that in energy. I mean,
Right.
complete drop where I was like, what? Who am I right now? I couldn't believe it. I mean, I could have been lifting weights double time and had more energy. So I
Sure.
find that very interesting because I was able to gauge that firsthand, see the experience actually about a week ago. And I
Sure.
thought, oh, I have to share this with you that this is right on. I
Yeah.
mean, really.
Because it has to do with body mechanics. So
Mhm.
we have bones, we have connective tissue, we have muscle, we have blood flow, and then we have the skin. So each area the body is connected to, and depending upon your body type, your body either does very, very well connecting to those systems, or if you move the energy from one system to another, for in your case, the bones and the joints, they love to be hydrated. Why? Because you're water type. But as soon as I move that water out of the bones and I move those fluids into another space of the body, whether it be going through the blood system, lymphatic system, if I go through the connective tissue, and now the bones feel dehydrated.
Mhm.
They feel like they're being drained. Then that's what you're going to experience. You're going to feel lethargy. You're going to
Right.
feel exhausted. And you're like, I didn't do anything, but just did 10,000 steps. Now, another body type will do 10,000 steps and have boundless energy.
Right. Now, the interesting thing is, you actually in Chinese medicine have a remedy for people who are like, but I have a partner and we want to go jogging and I'm water yin and they're whatever body type and
Sure.
we want to do things together.
Sure.
Well, there is a remedy and there's a
Of course.
specific movement that you
Yeah.
do from that body type before and after, which I find
Right.
so amazing and
I call it
fascinating.
bookends. Yeah, I call it bookends. So just like we have a bookshelf,
Right?
and we have several books on the bookshelf. We used to have those little stoppers, right? You have those bookends. So I always tell people, okay, whatever your body type is, whether you need to do weights, whether you do walking, whether you do cardio, whether you do CrossFit, whatever, do your warm up in your particular body type movements. Then do whatever activity that you want to do, and then do your cool down, the same activity that's for your constitution. If you do those two bookends, what your body remembers is what you did to start up the engine and what you did to cool down the engine. And then you do those two things when you rest and digest and going from the sympathetic to the parasympathetic, your body just remembers the last thing you did. And now it starts to actually complete the cycle. And now you can rejuvenate properly.
Amazing. I love it. I love
Okay.
it. There's always something there
Yeah.
for that contingency. All
And
right.
now
Well,
joy life. That's really what I want to share with people is
mhm.
that this is the way that if you understand your engine, if you understand the model that you're in, whether you're in a race car, whether you're in an 18 wheeler, whatever you're in, we're going to optimize the type of vehicle you're in. And then now you can enjoy life.
Amazing. I love it. Now, what we're going to do is if we can briefly go over the 12, what is it? 12 body type system or are there more
12
of
body
them?
types. Yeah,
Like,
there's 12 body types
uh-huh.
that I just talk about with patients. Okay.
Okay.
Keep it very simple.
Right.
Okay. So the fluiditarians are the metal types.
Mhm.
Then we have the dancer and the thespian.
Mhm.
That's what I call that. So that way they don't even have to learn about metal yin or metal yang. The dancer, soldier type is one.
Mhm.
And then we have the other one is the thespian. Okay. Then we have the fire type. The fire type can either be the researcher, the priesthood, or the royal, like a monarch. Okay.
Okay.
Then we have the earth types. The earth types can be the motivator or the engineer. Then we have the wood types is the visionary. Or we have the other wood type is the general.
Okay.
People would like to put things in a box. And then we have the other water types, which we have is like yourself. We call three main water types. So you'll see the three fire body types. And then the one is the mentalist. That's one water type. You may know a mentalist.
I'm a
Then,
little bit of a mentalist.
yeah, because you're around a mentalist all day, right? Then we have the problem solver, and then we have the giver.
But
Okay.
I thought I was problem solver.
You are a problem solver. You're
Right.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, okay. I'm the
And
problem
now you
solver.
have yeah. So then you have the different, that's the 12.
Hmm.
And then that is what I keep it simple. Once I train professionals, we go all the way up to 120.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I love
So we
this.
keep it very simple because that way, you know, when you're coming into the office and you get that complete, comprehensive type of examination, I talk to you about your body type. I talk to you about nutrition. I talk to you about different things. And then that way we can go through step by step by step what you particularly want to do for your goal and how you want to incorporate this into a lifestyle.
Mhm.
Not everybody wants to do this. So I'm like, that's fine. So I have other types of examinations that I do that are very basic and intermediary, and that's more hands-on so that I'm doing more intervention for them. The body type system is for somebody who wants to take control of their life and now start to incorporate things into their lifestyle that will now reverse any type of disorder, because many times a disorder is something that you're doing to your vehicle that is creating the problem. Like, I'm going to make this
Yeah.
specific analogy and everybody will get it. You can use all kinds of petroleum, whether it be unleaded or Supra or whatever, but you're going to now, or diesel, then you're going to add this special fuel additive called sugar. And what will sugar do to all engines? Kill it.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's because that doesn't work for that device.
Mhm.
So there's certain things that don't work for your device, like meat, grain, or vegetables. And if you understand that, then now your device will work.
Well, I want to point out, actually, you reminded me of something so simple that I was doing. I was eating something sweet that was sweetened with stevia, and then I would notice foot would hurt where I had injured it like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And I asked you, Dr. Kamal, why do I hurt when I have stevia? And your answer was,
It's a leaf.
yeah.
So if it's a leaf, then it's just like treetop fruits. Yeah. So then
Right.
your body needs more root vegetables.
Mhm.
Anything that's a leafy green is really mean to you. Just think of it like that. Leafy green.
So I so
People
I
like it.
got into beet sugar, which was fine,
Yeah.
and then I didn't have the pain.
Correct.
So that was the answer there. Something so small that could cause so much discomfort in my body. So yes, I take my body type eating very seriously
Yeah. Yeah.
because I don't want to have anything come up. I want to be able to be proactive, not reactive. And so I want to thank you so much for everything that you're doing to make this world a better place.
You're welcome. And then, like I said, anybody that wants to talk about their body type and understand it. We have that here at Affordable Asian Medicine, and just come by and we will start that process for you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Kamal. Thank you all for listening. Have a wonderful day.